Welcome back, fellow BeachBum traders. Welcome to part 2 of our weekly game plan for December 6th through December 10th. If you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly game plan for this week, we would highly recommend that you view that video, Making Money from the Lockdown Reopening Seesaw. I'll put a link in the description box below to part 1. And now we will dig into part 2, where we'll look at updates we're going to make to our watch list for this week, December 6th through December 10th. So let's get started. Okay, I'm on the Stocks tab of the online browser version of Webull, and you can get your version of Webull via our affiliate link below and get 2 or more free stocks. Again, Webull may be offering some additional promotions now through the end of the year, so check out our affiliate link and get at least 2 free stocks for yourself. Again, I'm on the Stocks tab in our version of Webull. I have my watch list selected. As you can see, we have numerous watch lists created. I'll put a link in the description box below to how to create and maintain a watch list and how to maintain a watch list from this stock screen. So we're going to go through our updates to our watch list for this week. As we discussed in part 1, we saw a decline in natural gas, a little bit of an irrational decline this week, because we know that natural gas has been running up. We know Europe has a shortage. We know there's issues with the Russians supplying Europe. And there was a prediction, there was an El Nino or whatever prediction, that we may have a colder than normal winter. All of which should indicate an increase in prices of natural gas. Therefore, when we saw that decline, we are looking to go long BOIL, which is the long on natural gas, the ETF long on natural gas. You can see a recent bottom at 32.01. So we're going to look for the dip. If it hits that 32.01 and starts to turn up, or wherever it achieves support starts to turn up, we're going to go long BOIL, long natural gas, looking for that increase in prices, again, for indications of a colder than normal winter. The inverse of BOIL is cold, that we tend to watch for a top. So when that tops and turns down, BOIL should be bottoming and turning up. Again, as I've mentioned in the past, it's a good way to watch these short and long ETFs, is to watch for the top turn down, watch for the bottom turn up. It's a good way to find entry points. So we're adding BOIL. We're going to go long BOIL as soon as it achieves support and turns up. We're going to leave DDD 3D systems on the watch list. It was a little bit questionable because it has broken down a bit, as many of the 3D printers have recently in the kind of tech sell-off. We'll see if it achieves support or if it continues to break down. If it continues to break down, we'll let it go. But DDD happens to be a profitable 3D printer. They did report positive earnings, better than expected earnings, and it had a nice pop. So if it does achieve a support and turn up, we're going to go long DDD. We're already long several other 3D printers, Nano Dimensions, NNDM, Materialize, MTLS, Protolabs, PRLB. So we like the space, we like the technology. It's just a matter of if the stock price holds up. So DRIP is the short on oil, Gush is the long on oil. We mentioned in our comments of last week's game plan that we are now, and in part 1, that we are now long USOI, which is the Credit Suisse ETN that pays a monthly dividend. We're long oil via that. Gush and DRIP are other ways, other ETFs to go long or short on oil. So you can look at USOI, you can look at Gush if you want to go long oil on, again, the recent decline in oil. We're going to remove Imagine from our watch list because, as you can see, it kind of broke down through support. It's continuing to trail off. They're not profitable. Given the tech sell-offs in this seesaw action, we're going to take EMAN off of our watch list for now. Again, you can see how easy it is to maintain a watch list in the stock screen. You just select it, right click, and say delete. As we posted in the comments of last week's game plan, we sold our long position in FANG-D for a nice profit. As we suspected, we sold it on 12/1. As we suspected a subsequent reversal, which in fact came a day or two later. Another point to note with these long and short ETFs that tend to rebalance daily is, if you're in profit, be careful of a gap up, gap down overnight. If you're in a profit, you might want to consider taking it, again, because it may gap up, gap down overnight, and then you might get stuck holding the bag the next day on a rebalance, or just again a gap up, gap down during the day. We're adding GLDI back to our watch list. We have previously held GLDI. We got stopped out when it previously peaked, and now it's gold has been trailing off a little bit. If we get a nice dip, we're looking for a price around 818 or so, but even this 827 area, if that's the support level, we want to go long again GLDI. This is another one of the Credit Suisse ETNs that pays a monthly dividend, so we get paid for holding on to it, and we would expect gold with the increasing inflation, increasing interest rates, we expect gold to go back up 1800 plus again in the future, so another opportunity. We're going to take Grow Generation GRWG off of our watch list now as it broke down in support. Keeps going lower. There's some negative sentiment. Kramer's not big on it. We like Grow Generation. You'll also see the cannabis stocks, I think, have gotten hit lately. They're trailing off as well. So we're going to take Grow Generation off for now until it achieves some stability, and then we'll reconsider it. We talked about Gush. We talked about Cold. Let's talk about ROKU a little bit. Again, ROKU has been oscillating. It's a little bit susceptible to this seesaw, this lockdown reopening seesaw. And we had some questions whether or not to hold on to ROKU on our watch list. Please see our video that we released recently doing due diligence on ROKU. I'll put that in the description box below. I think that may help. We're going to continue to watch ROKU and see if it can achieve some level of support. Again, it's susceptible to this lockdown reopening seesaw, so when they go into lockdown mode, it jumps up. When it goes into reopening mode, it drops down. So it's kind of hard to see if it's achieved a support level. But if it does form a nice bottom and start to trend back up, we're going to go long ROKU. And again, see our due diligence video for more information on ROKU. As we also posted in the comments of last week's game plan, we got stopped out of our short on the S&P, SVXY. We got a nice profit. Again, in this seesaw action, we're going to take our profits at the top when these things turn down, when these shorts turn down. We're going to go long, buy when these bottom and turn up. At the end of this video, I'll quickly review our watch list of ETFs and how you can play the seesaw action. But again, particularly with the rebalancing, the nightly rebalancing of these leveraged ETFs, we didn't want to risk a gap up, gap down. Take our profits, make a nice ROI, and play it again in this seesaw action. As we mentioned in our part 1, we're going to add SVXY, or we have added SVXY, which is the short on the VIX futures. We have a good to cancel order sitting out there with extended hours, active during extended hours in Webull, which is one of the great things about Webull, is you can put an order out there that's good to cancel, covers extended hours, and when it hits, it'll trigger. So, and we're just waiting for a final spike in the VIX. It almost hit on Friday. You can see kind of our levels. I really want that spike at 48.54. That's where our order is sitting. If we get that final little spike, that'll trigger, and we will be shorting the VIX. We expect it to retrace. Again, another way to watch the VIX is UVXY is the long on the VIX. So we see it spike, but then it retrace. So if it spikes again, that'll trigger that SVXY. And then, we're also watching the VIX itself. So, also, as we posted in the comments, we're already long TTT, which is the long on the yield of Treasury bonds, 20-year plus Treasury bonds. It's short on the price of Treasury bonds. Again, it declined further. So, again, we expect yields to go up, inflation, the Fed tapering, reducing purchasing will decrease the prices, and we know the yields need to go 2% plus to achieve the Fed's inflation goals. So we see that as a good opportunity on TTT. Again, we're already long TTT, but that might be an opportunity for you if you're interested in that. We talked about, we already went long, and we posted this in the comments as well. We're long USOI, which is the Credit Suisse ETN on oil. So there's a way to long oil. We talked about you can also use Gush to long oil. So we're going to leave VMD on the watch list. Again, this was one I struggled with, whether it was worth keeping on the watch list or not, because it's been very choppy. It's broken down further. It is a profitable company. It does seem to have some infrastructure catalyst support. If it can achieve a nice bottom and turn up, then we'll go long VMD. If not, if it keeps breaking down, we're going to remove it. Zoom I also struggled with. I like Zoom from a technical standpoint. Kathy Woods has been buying Zoom again. She's been pitching it as not just a lockdown stock, but as a keep connected stock, and I agree from a technical long-term standpoint. I like Zoom. Probably should do a due diligence video on it, but it's perceived as a lockdown stock. I think their guidance kind of disappointed last, and it's continuing to break down. So for now, we're going to take Zoom off of our watch list. Again, it's very susceptible to this lockdown reopening seesaw. They also recently had a technical issue, I think it was Thursday or Friday, that hurt them. It's going to take a little while for them to recover. So for now, we're going to take Zoom off the watch list, and we'll revisit it when it achieves a nice support. Also, as a kind of a special bonus, since you're watching this game plan early until we publish the video, I'm going to put an unlisted link in the chat and in the comments to this video on our due diligence on IBM. And it's called Is IBM a Good Long-Term Investment? We're already long IBM, as I believe I mentioned before, and I mentioned in this due diligence video. But you can take a look at this video. Now IBM had achieved a nice bottom. That's when we went long IBM. It has gone up a little bit, which is good for us. You might want to take a look at it, see if it's got some room to run. Again, as you'll hear in this video, IBM has a tendency to disappoint on earnings, so if you're just swinging or scalping, you might want to do it between earnings reports. If you believe this is something you want to hold for a long-term investment, then you'll have to ignore the chop around the earnings reports. So now I just want to quickly whip through our ETF watch list as how you can kind of play this seesaw action. Again, that's what we expect this week, is more of this choppy seesaw action until we get into hopefully the start of a Santa rally around the 15th. So we'll talk about that in next week's game plan. But again, we expect more of this seesaw action this week. So again, we'll review some of the ETFs as to how you can play this and profit from the seesaw action in a sec. Okay, I just wanted to quickly share with you a watch list of ETFs that we have. Again, it's very easy to create multiple watch lists and use multiple watch lists at Webull. And you can find our affiliate link for Webull and get 2 or more free stocks in the description box below. But again, since we expect this seesaw action, a lot of choppiness this week, I think individual stocks, particularly small cap stocks, may be pretty volatile, pretty risky, but we can play this seesaw action using these long and short ETFs. So we have a number of them that are based on the indices and various commodities, like we talked about oil. We've got the short on oil, which is drip, the long on oil, which is gush. You can see we've got the indices themselves in this watch list. And then we've got things like gold. GLDI we talked about in our watch list. This is an ETN that's long on gold. Here's the Russell, the Qs. Now, again, as we talked about, there's ETFs, there's leverage. We like to leverage ETFs because, again, the reward is higher if you pick the right direction. And in part 1, we talked about, okay, how do you know which direction? One of the ways is to look at that globals tab in the market screen in Webull and see, okay, what are the global markets telling you? And then what is the sentiment? You know, are we in lockdown? That side of the seesaw, or are we a reopening side of the seesaw, and what does that mean? Another point I wanted to discuss is, you know, we have that nice list of, okay, what does lockdown mean versus reopening mean? What's our list of, you know, directional plays based on that? And please let me know in the comments below, you know, where should I post this list? Is it best in the comments of the watch list videos? Would you like it in the Facebook group? If you're not a member of our Facebook group, highly recommend that. We can have ongoing, you know, topical discussions in our Facebook group. Please tell me, you know, I think this list is helpful. Please let me know if you think so too. But let me know where it's most productive and efficient for you to access this in the comments of the videos, in the Facebook group, etc. But again, once we know, are we in lockdown mode or reopening mode, we can pick these directions. You know, are we going to short the indices and long the VIX and long gold, etc., short oil, or are we going to, we're in reopening mode and we want to go long the indices, etc. So once we know the direction, then we can go to our ETF list and say, okay, we expect NASDAQ to go down. The short on the NASDAQ is SQQQ. And so we can go long SQQ to short the NASDAQ. If we think its tech is in favor today, then TQQQ is the long on the NASDAQ. Again, each of these indices has a long and short ETF. Here's the long on the Dow, UDow. The short on the Dow is SDow. It's, again, very easily, once you know the direction, then you can decide, you know, okay, which of these ETFs am I going to long short? We've mentioned, you know, we're currently short on semiconductors. This is a longer term cyclical play. If you want to go long semiconductors, it's SOXL. We've got silver. We talked about the short on the S&P. We had held that. And got stopped out, so that's SPXU is the short on the S&P. The long on the S&P is I lost it, UPRO. So again, hopefully this helps. Here's the long on the Russell, URTY. The short on the Russell's SRTY. you want to play that. Again, we hope this all helps. There's again long and short on various commodities, the treasuries. Here's just the basic long on the S&P VOO. This is a very popular long on the S&P if you want to play that long term. So we hope this helps. If you have any questions about long short ETFs for a particular index, commodity, etc., if we don't know, we will try to do the research and try to find some. I'm looking for more on global indices and some additional commodities, so we'll add them to this list as we discover them. So I hope this all helps. Please let us know in the comments below. We hope you like this video. If there's any other stock symbols, etc., you'd like us to consider for our watch list this week, again, please let us know in the comments below. If we find anything else during the week, we will post it in the comments, so please keep an eye on the comments for this video. Our social media sites will post updates to our watch list as we do so. And again, please let us know what you thought. Give us feedback. How can we improve these game plan videos for your benefit? And we wish you good luck and have a great trading week. We hope that you like our weekly game plan for the trading week for this week. Thank you for watching the video to the end. If you found this helpful, we hope that you will choose to subscribe to our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel, and please click the bell icon below to automatically be notified whenever we publish a new video. Please also share this with your fellow traders and friends via the share button included below. And let us know if you found our weekly game plans helpful in the comments included below. And let us know how we can improve. What would you like to see more, less of, etc. Thank you again for watching. Good luck and have a great trading week. Bye.